Hmm. Hello. I wanted to speak about some new things that are, well, they're probably not new to anyone here, but the world has been showing these ideas and presenting these constructs and frameworks of understanding. They revolve around in cycles, and we find ourselves rehashing the same things again, over and over again. Um, and the patterns are as such, and they're very, very intricate. Um, they're taking what is there already and playing with it, and energetically, they're playing with it and turning it into something that it's not. Um, I keep seeing the themes of the parapsychological, ghost, and such. I'm seeing a lot of it in like mostly video games and whatnot, horror games, and so on and so forth. These rituals that they're showing them in the games, and there's just imagery. Um, all of these things are considered superstitious and should be left alone, are just imagery. Now, these people discovering they're playing with certain things, and they're playing with these aspects of themselves, remembering what it is, what the shadow is. Now, the shadow is not necessarily a bad thing. It's not negative. You can easily get negative with it. Now, the ideas that I wanted to share, based on the worldviews that are being shown, is that to hold your own, is that you have your own field of action. And regardless of what those other fields of action are being presented to you, they're not happening in your field of action. They're not your field of action. Those fields of action are not the reflections of what's going on the inner portions of you. Now, all these things that we think we're seeing outside of ourselves are always going on within us. All of these guys they're talking about, they see something, they think that there's a sun simulator and then the sky is fake and all whatnot. You're feeling something that's energetic. You're people that think that the earth is flat, that's something that's energetic. They're thinking that they're genetically altering people, or genetically they're cloning people. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I don't believe that you can take a body, and I've seen videos about it when they're talking about them making clones or something, that they can scoop out the DNA of this person and then implant a new DNA code, and it will be a whole nother person. That's not cloning. You know what cloning is, and they keep lying about what cloning is, and they cannot do it. They cannot take the DNA from some creature, a random creature, duplicate it exact, and then hope that it lives. It will not happen. It can't happen. It doesn't happen. Because there's a relation to the soul and the body that cannot be duplicated by the hands of men. It's a very hard thing to even think about. They're thinking these super groups, these super organizations, they have technology that they think is actually working, is actually doing something. And they're only playing with the cause. They're not playing with the cause. They're playing with the effect of an effect. They're producing an effect, and they observe it, they see it, and they're seeing that this thing's changing and doing something. They think they did something. They didn't do anything. They didn't cause anything. They built onto an effect and amplified the effect. So they just made an effect bigger. There's no change any more than what they thought they were seeing in the first place. At certain points in time, there's several posts that I posted on different sources of media specifically, and they've been blocked, taken down. These are not speculations. The scientists of this world know. They get a small hint of it. They don't want to argue with each other, so they don't. They have too much money involved. There's no point in arguing. Just do what you've been told and go with the flow, whatever flow it is. Even if they're doing that, some of them are advocating against the truth. They're being paid to go around and spread lies with this very science that they know. Consciousness works in a specific way, a reminder to all of us, to every last single one of us. Consciousness, you are consciousness. You, that what you are, is more than what you claim to be. You, more than yourself, in more ways than you can probably possibly understand. The understanding is as such as the Russian nesting dolls, in the sense. It is in the sense of the other terms that I have explained in the past. The reason why I'm keeping this pace is so that you can follow everything that I say. It is so that you can keep up with the steady understanding that is based between the words. It's not so needed that I speak fast. You can understand what I'm saying very easily. Like the frameworks of all language, everything has a language. Look for the truth in between the words. Silence. It's the greatest reminder of it all. Consciousness deals with the silence and works what best with silence, in silence. From that point, from that point of stillness, it imagines its reality. That reality then vibrates upon itself, and the resonance multiplies the vibration. It is the same thing that happens when you place another guitar next to, like, say, a guitar next to a speaker, and the feedback loops the sound. That is what is causing the feedback, is resonance. People don't understand this. The resonance from your soul forms your body. It is not a vibration. It extends beyond vibration. It extends beyond frequency. Resonance is a bandwave of frequencies. It is like a tonal reference so that harmonics are balanced. Light is always folding around upon itself. Different forms of light passing over each other create a lot of the illusions, the phenomena that we think we're seeing as reality. Fields of light passing over each other, through each other, over and overlapping. Their resonances overlap, and their resonances echo upon themselves. The quote unquote walls of reality, the walls of the universe. There really are no walls in the sense. It is only pressure zones, high, highly condensed pressure zones. Where there's high density, there's extreme low density. Not necessarily in the same place. When you understand the wave and the wave frequency, you can understand all the concepts of reality. There is no Armageddon. They want you to believe in that really hard. They want you to believe that there's enemies. There are no enemies. When you start seeing these phenomena, remember who you are, your consciousness in the relation to you and yourself. The bigger self that you are, the higher quote unquote self, not necessarily higher in frequency, not necessarily low, you're not necessarily lower in frequency. You do coincide within yourself. You're more than yourself. You are the pattern, you're an electrical pattern. And you are passing in throughout the body of what you are. And also the reality of what you may become. It's been a while, and it'll be a while before I start giving the truth within myself of how I see reality. They say there's plenty of people that told me, I've heard it so many times, you cannot see reality. You'll never know what it is in its entirety. And there's no point of even trying to know. You know everything you need to know for yourself. And if you think you need to know that, of course the universe will give it to you. There are men such as Thoth that ask for ultimate knowledge. Did he not receive it? He left the emerald tablets for us all to read. He went to into the center of all creation and returned with stories. techniques. What does it mean? Is it a hoax? Is it a joke? Personally, for me, it may resonate so closely that you may think that you created it, but you did not. It was put there for you as a reminder. And many men that are claiming that there are these entities that came before them, they are not. All of these beings that we hear about that are being mentioned from our past, our ancient past, are all archetypes. We are the gods of this age. We are the gods. It's time to start acting like that. It's time to start acting like a god. It's time to start owning your perception, answering to your focus. What is real? The only thing that is real is what you need to be real for you. Don't let the idiots fool you. Who say, well, if you had a gun to your head, somebody had a gun to your head, it would be my responsibility at that time to say the right thing to save myself. You're powerless against a bullet flying through the air out of the chamber after he pulled the trigger. There's nothing to stop it. There's nothing to stop it piercing your flesh and passing through you. I'm not afraid of death. I consciously create my life. Every last one of us. Every last one of you. If you believe that you're going to die in an all encompassing Armageddon, so shall it be. But so shall it be only for the perceiver that understands those conditions. There are levels of understanding. We can be enemies to ourselves and then find enemies without. The only reason why you find enemies without is that you compartmentalize yourself within and then take those portions of yourself and make enemies out of it. Then you blame a person that's attuned to that portion that you denied in yourself and made an enemy. These are how you trace these things back to find who is the enemy and who is really the enemy. And when you say you can't trust yourself, then you wonder why no one can trust you. There are no enemies. You have your friends all around you. You have those who love you, and they are invisible to the naked eye. The dreamer within the dream dreams. What does that mean? Right now, I'm looking at myself in the screen, and I look myself in the eye. But is that me that I am seeing, or just a reflection? It's the same. Within your mind, you look at yourself in the mirror, and you say, "This is not me, but this is me. This is who I am." But then you know when you see yourself in the mirror, you say, "What is this? And who is this that I am? What it is to be human?" What do you see? What are you really actually looking at? What is this world that we're in? Are you looking at yourself from within yourself? Larger portion of you that's dreaming who you are right now. Their focus is elsewhere when you are asleep. Same goes for your focus when you're asleep. Your focus goes elsewhere. There's a multitudinous dimensionality to this world. Don't let them catch you. Don't get caught in the lies. Lies and truth. Truth and lies. There is no sun simulator. Just like all the other things that is a hoax that they try to scare people with. There's machines, holograms. But don't be fooled. The pyramids were made with instruments of sound. There were devices that produced sound, and there was people that chanted. This world that we're in is not what they say it is. You will come to know in the future. I may not live to see it. I may live to see it. I had deep, deep dreams about this future. See the future with the wrist bands, those electronic watches that everyone's gonna be wearing. I wear them like fashion. The Gorilla Corning glass on everything, touchscreen everything, all over the place. The biocomputer that is human will always be stronger than electronics. that the human creates, the implants that they create, the ETs that come and give the technology to share with the humans will not be so powerful that you will be trapped into a virtual reality matrix. These AI that they're calling AI are not true AI. Human is the AI. Human consciousness is the true AI, and nothing can ever duplicate that. It cannot duplicate itself in a way beyond, it cannot go beyond the extension of what it already has equipped with. So your the path of least resistance is already played out. Trying to work around that is going out of the way. So you're going to be going out of the way so much that you waste a lot more time than being successful. It's the same as trying to get to the moon in the way that they've been trying to get to the moon, in the same sense. It's the same way they're trying to cure cancer by shooting radiation into the body. Radiation causes cancer. It doesn't stop it. Chemotherapy will never stop cancer. It causes it. It contributes to it. It's really hard for me to even talk about these subjects because we're going into a new realm, and I'm seeing the world being even harder, even more stronger in this ideals they're pushing real hard. Christian versus Islam, all this stuff that's just slapping people, trying to slap people in the face with it. They're trying to, like, I see all these things about women's rights, and women needs not get on that bandwagon. It's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. Don't jump on that shit. As a lady, as a woman that you are, stay independent and trust in yourself. Don't jump on that bandwagon because it's just another slaughter train. It's not cool. The same thing with the trans movement. That shit's not cool. They're trying to mash it up. Now, I've seen them trying to do it and, like, smash it all together, where they're saying that women, there's certain actresses out there that are actually men, and they were they're pretending to be women, or then they're taking clips that they said things on the internet and saying they're saying that they're women, but they're just jokes. It's just a lot of paranoid psyopses out there, and paranoid conspiracies intermixing with the psyopses, because it's just making it really a lot worse. I'm seeing a lot of stuff going on in the world, and a lot of people are just fibbing. They're making up, fabricating videos, fabricating instances, and saying that they're seeing something that's not true. They're not seeing anything. And if they are seeing it, they're seeing it in their personal psychic perception. And this is how reality works with every individual anyway. And I will never be tricked by that phenomena ever. That phenomena follows everyone. The phenomena follows every single entity, every single individual. If this being, say, if I'm this being over here, and I believe that ghosts are real, and they're tangible thing that can come into this reality and move my stuff around while it's floating around. Oh, ooh, there's a ghost in here. If I believe that, then it would happen. But I don't believe that. I don't believe in ghosts in this sense any more than they believe in me. They know that I am no dead than I'll ever be, and that they're no dead than they'll ever be. They cannot coincide in the same place that I do. The same thing goes for UFOs. Now, true UFOs cannot penetrate this reality. The real unidentified ETs, they can't come here. They can't. The stress is so great that it forces them back into their reality. They try to experiment to try to get here. They cannot. They can only observe from their reality, from their point of view, in their construct, through the instruments that they've been using. They cannot penetrate their reality into ours. Whole different realm, whole different construct. They know that it works with frequency. They know that you can change your frequency and then end up there, but they cannot. They cannot do it. If they could, they would have. They say this all the time, and I see this all the time with conversations. If they wanted to, they would have. I ask all the time, why won't you show yourselves? If you're talking to me, show yourselves. Talk to me. There's only one instance, and that instance is not very credible. It's not very credible at all. I wouldn't even mention it. I would sound like a fool. Oh, I smoked some DMT once, and then I saw a gray, something that looked like a gray, but I didn't feel it. I didn't touch it. It wasn't physical. So something is not exactly what they say it is. Reality is superimposed upon themselves, and that they coexist in their reality, and everything is psychic. Every single thing is psychic, and every single being is psychic. And whatever being introduced words, speaking, language, I would not consider them friends. Words, the construct of speaking, words, spoken language, is a mental construct to compartmentalize our minds. They've been given to us by a specific race. It may not be the Anunnaki. It may not be any of the things that we know. But we're telepathic beings. We're clairvoyant. Recognize that self, that in yourself. Recognize that self that you are, and you will become that self even more. Don't let people tell you that you do not have the abilities that you have. These abilities are not what mainstream calls empathy. You're not an empath. Everyone has empathy. Everybody has the ability to love. Empathy is not this telepathic feeling that you feel from everything, that you feel somebody's hurt and pain and suffering. That is an ignorant statement. And those people who's saying that out of their excuse of depression, because that is actually self-inflicted depression. It is a victimization. state. You're not an empath. There is no such thing. You are clairvoyant, and that is the term. You can feel emotions, you can feel residue and resonances, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they inflict you to the point where you buckle down and you are powerless and cannot do anything and cannot think, cannot choose, cannot act. Those are lies. There's a lot of things that mainstream spirituality circles teach, and they're complete lies. Lies to keep you baited into paying for their services. They keep a little key out. I will not do these things. I do not require money to share this knowledge with you. I do not require money. The only requirement for any kind of service that I give is to be open minded and open hearted. And with that, in terms, will always be the vortex of equal exchange, equal opposite exchange. You understand? There will be no taking involved. There will be only giving. So when you give, I give. There will be only giving. There will be no taking involved. The world is complex now as you stay on the surface. The rays that spread out from the source, the center, as they spread out from the source, they become more dense. They multiply and break off into branches and become more dense. And as they become jumbled within each other and create a crust. The crust makes you think that is impenetrable. It is not impenetrable. The surface is not the surface. It's not the whole entirety. It is the representation of the rest of the whole. We all know these principles, whether they be hermetic, whether they be any kind of other religion or any kind of sect of spirituality. Most of these ideas I've learned without even reading those books. Now, I don't want to go into my personal life in this post, but I will in other posts to let people know where I'm coming from. This is about truth and honesty. I'm honest with myself. I have nothing to hide. And I don't want to reiterate these things anymore about my feelings underneath. I want to share these key elements in esoterics and spirituality, metaphysics, clairvoyancy, parapsychological, whatever you want to call it. There is no demon named Zozo that'll get you in your fucking Ouija board. That's such a childish fucking high school rumor, urban myth bullshit. Bloody Mary, look in the mirror, shout her name 7 times in the bathroom, kind of garbage. Uh We've seen all the fucking scary movies. I watch scary movies for fun because I am the superstition. I am the superstition that you're afraid of. I am the monster that everyone is afraid of. Like, I'm the black man. I have black skin. I am I embody all the darkness that the white man does not. I can wear it on my sleeve. I don't care. Being dark, being in the shadow, is what's gonna save you. And I learned that in the beginning as myself, who I am. Those are hard lessons to learn. They're also easy lessons to learn. You won't be liked by everyone. We're living in quote unquote perilous times because they're making it perilous. It's a stage. They, it's those people that are in cahoots together in their minds, somehow pairing with the cloud of whatever that paranoid monster it is. I don't know what it is. I don't know what to call it. And I don't know who they are. It's just random people. Yeah, the path of inner peace begins with 4 words. Not my fucking problem. I don't see a problem with it right now. I see that I have to eat when I'm hungry, shit when I need to shit, wash my ass when I feel gross as fuck. I don't understand what else is important in this world. Why looking up at the sky all the time, all I'm seeing is this shit that they're spraying in the sky. Then I'm being told look at my phone, but I don't have a phone because I don't own a phone. So which one is it? What is going on? Are they both trying to? What is going on in the world, and what is the truth? And all I see is a bunch of people doing stuff. I don't see no aliens. I don't see no aliens. And I've never woken up and there's this fucking alien over me. Or I've never woken up where there's aliens in the corner of my room. I feel weird shit when I was a little kid, but that's because I watched scary movies. You know, you get the primal jungle shit where you're walking around in the dark in the woods and you know that there's something's gonna be there maybe or not, like a cat or a fucking wolf, a mountain cat. Yeah, those images are ingrained in us primally so that we remember that, hey, don't go walking around in the woods without somebody else with you or something to help you fight off a fucking wildcat that might be hungry, that might be prowling that night. There's some things that they're playing with people's minds that are just innately primal and treating us like animals. And there's people that are thinking that they're animals. And they're also enacting on these ideas that they consider to be animal. There are no differences. Any more difference between man and animal is that animals are not evolving mentally. The difference. They have a soul. The animal soul is a miniaturized soul version of the human soul. It's no powerful or less. It's just miniaturized. It's smaller. It functions in a different kind of way. with different kinds of aptitudes. What does a squirrel have in common with any other creature? What does the reality have to do with any creature at all? What are you in relation to that creature? Any creature. The rhetorical question is not to be answered. They're meant to be pondered upon so that you find true meaning in yourself. But I'm just going to stop rambling on. Be some other day when we talk about some other things. You have a nice day, night, or whatever. Love and light to you people.